I thought I was cursed.
This is a very annoying matchup for both AD and AP Udyr. With AD Udyr, I actually take Phase Rush and rush Stridebreaker and try to play it extremely slowly until then, because Riven's burst is ungodly high. Most of the time I also end up rushing plated steel caps. For AP Udyr, you can try to fight Riven in the early game, but it's still gonna be tough, and I recommend putting a few points into your W. I always put a few points into my W as AD Udyr, but not always as AP Udyr. The main issue is that she has a huge amount of dashes and her burst is really high. If you were to awaken your R on Riven, she can just dash out of it very easily. What you need to try to do is set up a freeze on your side of the lane and make it tough for her to farm as AP Udyr. And this game I went for AP Udyr. In the super early game, she won't have that short of cooldowns, so you can try to abuse that by running her down this way. But the issue is that once again, she can dash away and she can stun you with her W or knock you back with her third Q. But this gets very frustrating to deal with, especially when you consider the fact that whenever she stuns you with W or knocks you back with her Q, she will actually cancel an auto attack. The only auto attack that will go through is your E attack, and that's because it's an uncancelable auto attack. But if, for example, you try to attack her while you're in W to get that healing, it's just gonna cancel and you have to go for an attack again. Even if you recall on a Chain Vest, at level 6 she might just straight up all in you from full health, even if you have your awakened W. This champion's damage is absolutely vile, and she also scales monstrously well. So as AP Udyr, I have to try to beat her out in the early game somewhat. You can rush an item like Unending Despair or Iceborne Gauntlet, or if you're really daring, you can go for Dusk and Dawn or Riftmaker. The Dusk and Dawn and Riftmaker will provide you more damage and dueling power, but the issue is that you're more susceptible to her burst. And right now, an Ignite Riven can see you at around 80% health and still look to kill you even if your awakened W is up, because of course she can. This game, it's also kinda sucky because I'm gonna need a Serpent's Fang for their comp, and I don't know where I'm gonna be able to slot it. I might also need Heal Cut, but that's not that big of an issue. Look at my build and look at Riven's build. I have a Chain Vest and a Ruby Crystal, and she has cooldown boots. And yet she still pops her Elixir of Force and looks to kill me straight up. And she almost does. I'm at like 20% health.
Weapons are for the weak.
This is a skill matchup for both AD and AP Udyr. For AP Udyr, you can take Liandry and perma Phoenix under his own tower, and he's always gonna have to use W to tank through some of the damage. It's gonna be a very slow and boring process, but he will eventually die. You can speed up this process by getting even more AP like a Bloodletter's Curse or Blackfire Torch or Malignance. And you can also take Phase Rush as AP Udyr if you wish. But as AD Udyr, I tend to play it a bit differently. For one, I typically like to put at least 3 points into my W in the early game so that I can actually deal with Sett's trading because it's very powerful. You don't always need to do this, but I recommend it. Another thing that you can do is rush plated steel caps, which feels really good into Sett. This game I didn't do it because I killed him, but then I greeted later on into the lane and I died because of it. And after I did my bad death, I do end up going for plated steel caps. In general, plated steel caps is just a very powerful item into Sett because it allows you to space him better and kite out his auto attacks. It also forces Sett to pull you back sooner with his E, which is always really nice, especially if his W isn't fully stacked or close to fully stacked. In the super late game, you're probably dead anytime he hits you with a fully charged W. Unless you go for Sterak's Gauge and then more health items like a Stride Breaker or Trinity Force, Overlord's Bloodmail, then you can tank through it. But if not, you're basically getting one shot anytime he gets the fully charged W at 4 or 5 items. Until then, however, you can still beat him out pretty well, and even then you can still look to fight him if you play it correctly. For example, what you can do is rush Stride Breaker and use that active slow to kite around him. What you can do is do 2 Q attacks and then activate your E to stun him, and then activate the Stride Breaker to slow him and speed yourself up. And then you can start running away and he won't be able to pull you back with his E. But you can also all-in him more as AD Udyr if you have something like a Serpent's Fang. The Serpent's Shield Cut will be really good for his W so that he tanks way less. And it makes it to where he can't realistically go Sterak's Gauge into you because that Sterak's shield will also be cut in half, and that's huge. As AD Udyr, you can sit on side lane permanently and threaten him all the time. And as AD Udyr, it is much better to side lane into him because Sett is a teamfight menace with his ultimate and then E plus W combo. AD Udyr is rather weak in teamfights, so if you manage to just sit on side lane, you're mostly gonna be fine and you're gonna be able to frustrate the Sett.
I sense your
team has destroyed a turret. Unstoppable. A summoner has disconnected. Victory!
Kill some ghoul.
First
I
blood.
am not good with people.
In the rune setup that I have, you can see that I took magical footwear, but that was a mistake. I meant to take triple tonic, and this kinda sucks, but it's not the end of the world. Magical footwear is still just a good rune to get. This is a super omega boring lane, whether you play AP Udyr or AD Udyr, and I would say if you play AP Udyr, it's even more boring unless you go for like full AP Udyr. What Singed will most likely look to do is perma-proxy. You can try to stop it before it actually happens, or you can chase him down a bit when he's in that proxy position, but if you overchase, you're gonna lose minions of your own. And it is incredibly difficult to chase down a Singed that has Ghost or Phase Rush. This is why I go Phase Rush as Udyr into Singed, so that I have it in case the enemy Singed takes it, so I can actually chase him down or keep up with him. You can also stun him just before he flings you. And your E is an uncancelable auto attack, so even if he gets the fling off, he's still gonna get stunned, which might make it to where he can't proc Phase Rush. Normally what Singed needs to do is use his E into an auto while he's poisoning you, but if you stun him, he won't be able to get that auto attack off, which means that his Phase Rush won't go off. This will force him to W you to actually proc the Phase Rush, but you can also proc your own Phase Rush and then you can run through the slow. And you also have your Phoenix slow. It is really important to take at least 1 point in your Phoenix even if you play AD Udyr. And with approach velocity plus your actual R slow, you're gonna be able to keep up with him most of the time unless he also presses Ghost. As AD Udyr, I like to rush Ravenous Hydra and perma sustain on the wave, but you can also go Stridebreaker if you want even more stick potential. And as my second item, I will go for Edge of Night or Lord Dominic's Regards. Edge of Night is especially good into Singed because he won't be able to proc down that shield without flinging you. There is currently a bug that makes his W able to proc down the spell shield, but it's not intended and I hope it gets fixed soon. Lord Dominic's Regards is also really good into Singed because when he has his ultimate on, he will be very tanky starting from level 11. So that LDR allows you to basically one-shot him through his ultimate, which is really good. But Edge of Night forces him to use 2 flings to actually get you off of him. And then as a third item, you can take something like a Hole Breaker. In teamfights, Singed is better than AP and AD Udyr most of the time. AP Udyr can kind of work if you play full AP Udyr and you Phoenix a bunch of people and basically burst them all down really hard, but AD Udyr will always be weaker than Singed unless you manage to flash on top of someone and insta-kill them. Otherwise, it's always better to sit on side lane and force him to answer you there. And it will take him much longer to kill the cannon because of the fact that you run Hole Breaker. I see that Singed wants to go for a proxy here and I can look to deny it, but I can't linger around him for too long. If I fight him for too long, I'm gonna miss my own minions. If I know for a fact I can kill him, it's better to stick to him though.
An enemy has been slain. An enemy has been slain. An ally has been slain.
You cannot outrun me.
Spree. Enemy rampage. An enemy has been slain. Your team has destroyed a turret. Shut down.
On instinct.
Your team has destroyed an inhibitor. An ally has been slain.
You cannot outrun me. There's no way to live. Violence is not always good. I am sorry.
Double kill. Your team has destroyed an inhibitor.
Thank you guys for joining me in this video. I hope you found the information useful, and I will see you in the next video, hopefully very soon.
Retreat is not failure. We heal and we try again.